Husband intended to surprise his wife by arriving home early from work, but he was in for a surprise. Husband intended to surprise his wife by arriving home early from work. Instead, he was in for a big surprise. The phrase middle-age crisis is usually associated with males, although women experience their middle-age crisis as well. It is really difficult for a woman to acknowledge that she is aging. A midlife crisis in women is an emotional condition in which every woman believes that almost half of her life has passed her by and that she is no longer productive, beautiful, or confident. She gets bored, bewildered, and terrified of losing at times. One of the factors that devastated Sarah's life was her midlife crisis. Sarah had no idea when she was a teenager that she could get this condition. Her life was lovely and a touch chaotic one day. When Sarah was in college, she was one of the most popular students in the entire institution. It will be great if you like and share this video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that bell icon next to it to get notified when we add new, interesting videos in the future. Now let's get back to the story. Sarah was invited to all of the parties and went on all of the vacations. She did all of the insane things that a teenager may experience, such as drugs, alcohol, and various sexual delights. Sarah was also recognized as one of the most gorgeous females in the school. All the boys wanted to chat with her, even if only for a few seconds, and all the ladies wanted to be her buddy. We can simply say that Sarah was living like a queen at the time, and as a result, Sarah never maintained a lover for more than a month. She was always abandoning her lover in favor of another man. Sarah had a different excuse for leaving each lover. Occasionally, the new person was richer or wiser than the last guy, and sometimes she just appeared to enjoy him more. She didn't even have to explain why. Sarah was often remarking to her friends at the time, "Why should I keep one boyfriend?" While she had all of these possibilities, it was obvious to everyone that Sarah's relationships were merely for fun, and she never treated them seriously. She once told a friend of hers, quote, "One day, I'll marry a wealthy, intelligent, and attractive man. I'll keep having fun living my life until I discover this person," unquote. Sarah broke a lot of people's hearts in that way, but she didn't care, since she didn't care about herself. Everyone in that college should be able to tell that she wasn't thinking about love in her partnerships. Besides, she never had time to reflect on a prior relationship since she was constantly preoccupied with the new one. Sarah met Alex in her final year of college. She had been in the same class with her for years, but she had never noticed him. Alex, unlike Sarah, was a loner who didn't have many friends. Alex was an excellent student who frequently assisted his peers in their studies. Sarah was struggling to complete her final semester in college and was seeking assistance from her friends. But the trouble was that all of her pals were the same as she was, only interested in partying and having a good time. Sarah asked one of her friends if she knew anyone who might help her, and she was told about Alex, the clever boy in her class. When Sarah initially encountered Alex, she wasn't shocked that he recognized her. She was certain at the moment that everyone in the school knew who she was and what she stood for. Sarah was treated well by Alex. He was quite helpful to her, and with his assistance, she was able to complete the semester with extremely high marks that she had never received before. Sarah felt compelled to express her gratitude to Alex by presenting him with a gift. In exchange, she invited him to the biggest party ever. Alex informed her that he isn't used to going to parties, and he was completely honest with her when he told her that he had previously not attended a party. When Sarah heard that from him, she was startled, and she asked him, "All those people you're helping and no one ever thought to invite you to a party?" Alex stated, "I don't think of it that way." Sarah then said, quote, "Maybe they know you didn't like gatherings, or maybe they're just folks who didn't deserve your support. In any case, this is not the case because you are attending my party. We'll be drinking, smoking, dancing, and having a good time," unquote. Alex knew Sarah would not accept no for an answer, so he finally consented to attend the party. He told Sarah he would come and bring her a present to commemorate her graduation. When Alex arrived at Sarah's on the night of the party, as he had promised, he discovered it to be quite packed and boisterous. She couldn't talk to anyone since the music was so loud. The booze was strewn everywhere. There were guys smoking pot in the yard, some cocaine on a table, and some others who chose to jump nude in the swimming pool. For Alex, that was a complete disaster. He wasn't having a good time. He only wanted to watch Sarah accept the present he had brought with him and then go. But there was one problem. He couldn't find Sarah amid all those people. So he sat on the couch till she came in. When Sarah finally arrived, she was so inebriated that she couldn't stand it. Alex had to approach her and explain that he needed to give her the present and then depart. But because she couldn't hear him due to the music, they decided to continue the chat in his car. Alex apologized to Sarah and informed her that he wanted to go since he was so certain that he didn't enjoy this type of party at that time. Sarah informed Alex that she was wary from the party as well, and that she wanted to remain with him in the car so they could converse privately. Sarah and Alex were conversing and joking in the car together. They had completely forgotten about the celebration. They even agreed to go out to supper together. On that particular night, for a brief while, Sarah considered Alex to be the one. One thing led to another, and before they knew it, Sarah and Alex were sharing a bed in a hotel room. When she was about to depart the next morning, Sarah told Alex that she would phone him to talk about what had just transpired, but she never returned his call. It wasn't Sarah's first time getting drunk and ending up in someone's bedroom. She constantly does the same thing. She tells the guy how much she loved her night and promises to contact him later, but she never does. Alex, on the other hand, was waiting for her to call. He even attempted to phone her, but was unable to reach her. Alex was attempting to move on by himself after 2 weeks, keeping himself occupied at work. He was a diligent worker who dedicated his entire time to his new profession. But he had no idea how his life was about to alter. Sarah phoned him one day and requested to meet with him. Alex and Sarah decided to go out to supper. That night, Sarah informed Alex over dinner that she was so inebriated the night they were together that she seemed to have forgotten to use protection. She informed him that she was pregnant and was at a loss for what to do. That's why she dialed his number. Alex was taken aback by what he had just heard from Sarah. He paused for a bit before saying, "Would you like to keep the baby, Sarah?" Sarah responded, "I'm not sure yet. What are your thoughts, Alex?" He said, "I'd like to have a child, especially with you. I'm not sure whether you notice, but I like you and would like to be with you." Sarah informed Alex that she needed to think about it and that she would call him back to let him know what her decision would be this time. Alex didn't have to wait long. After a few days since his last encounter with Sarah, she contacted him to tell him that she had chosen to keep the baby and give the relationship another opportunity. That made Alex very delighted. He assured Sarah that he would do all in his power to ensure her and the baby's happiness throughout the pregnancy. Sarah and Alex became closer and fell in love. They even planned to marry to care for the baby jointly. Everything happened so quickly, they didn't get married. They went to the charge by themselves without inviting anybody. After they had their first child, a beautiful daughter called Anna, Sarah and Alex were having a wonderful time together. They went out every weekend and didn't skip a summer without seeing a different destination. Furthermore, Alex was so amorous with Sarah that he was constantly surprising her and getting her gifts. Sarah didn't have to work because Alex was doing well at his job. She used to remain at home with their daughter, but the family's requirements grew over time, especially now that they had another kid, this time a small boy named Charlie. As a result, Alex needed to work harder to meet the demands of his family. Alex has worked tirelessly for his family year after year. He never refused a request. He always made certain that his wife and children had all they desired. But he had forgotten about Sarah. He wasn't as surprised as he used to be. Sarah was feeling left out at the time. She began to recall her days as a queen in college, where she was gorgeous, youthful, and self-assured. She told herself she would sacrifice her life to feel that way again. Sarah began chatting with several young boys online, while her husband and children were not there, to allow her to feel herself again. She even created an account on a dating app and submitted her images to see what the guy thought of them. Sarah understood she was going through a midlife crisis at that time, but she didn't know what to do about it. She was blaming Alex for what had transpired since he had stopped caring about her feelings. Alex got home from work early one day to surprise his wife. He knew his children would be in school at this time, so he chose to return home, bringing his wife a lovely present. When he arrived though, he witnessed something surprising. Alex noticed his wife kissing a young man in the yard, and she appeared to be inebriated. Alex became enraged, evicted the young man, and exited the house. It took Sarah a week to contact Alex. She apologized to him and explained her situation when he left the house that day. Alex didn't realize at first that women might have a midlife crisis. However, after consulting with the psychologist, Alex chose to return to his house and assist his wife in resolving her problem. They began seeking the psychologist jointly until they moved on, and they knew how to live a happy life with their 2 wonderful children until this day. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, subscribe, and share the video. Please leave your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you, and see you on the next one. Bye.